Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are playing bingo again with episode 8 of Marathons. Last time I was actually able to get a bingo, and if we get a bingo this time, my biggest fan says that I can predict everything in the universe, which I'm predicting.
Children are going to die for some reason.
And one thing before I start explaining the first field is that my last bingo was based on expectations and teasers we had for the episode, but however with this one this isn't possible because we have barely anything to expect or no teasers at all, so all of the fields are very up in the air, if it makes sense for you. Anyways, the first one is haluzination, with the picture in the background already talking about what I mean. I think I made a separate video on the topic, but I'm quickly doing a recap. I think this scene as we see it right there doesn't really exist because it would make no sense to blow up Copper 9 at the end of episode 7 if we have episode 8 still confirmed. So I personally am considering that this is either a vision of the future, like I'm putting this in air quotes because you know you can change visions of the futures and those kinds of things, or this is a hallucination created by Sin to make Uzi panic so she loses control over her solver again, because I think Uzi is going to have a spiritual trip where she has to fight her inner demons, the literal one and the figurative one. With the literal one, I mean Sin and the absolute solver and stuff like that. And this is the one I'm not the most confident that this is right, but personally I would think this is actually something that could happen, because a physical confrontation wouldn't really fit in my opinion. A mental one for Uzi would be a way better one to finish off her arc basically, if the show doesn't continue after season 1. I'm going to cut the next one a bit quicker because I talked way too long on this one. But Jay will die again. Personally, there are really two possibilities. One will come later in the bingo because it feels very much like a setup we had in episodes 6 and 7, where like we expect a big fight, but in the end we just got a conversation and not a fight. But if we actually do get a fight here, I really don't think Jay will win. Like, whoever is going to win that fight is going to be a stupid answer, because if Jay wins, that means Khan, Thad and Lizzy are dead, which would be stupid. Why bring her back in the first place? And if Jay dies, which I'm guessing would be the more likely option, why bring her back? Like, it counts for the two sides. Maybe either they team up or there will be a draw, for example if the planet explodes or someone else comes and stops the fight. This is a point I will get to in a minute, but personally I'm guessing that Jay will die again because she isn't really a good fighter. Since old form, I accidentally mentioned it in the last video, but basically I like every form of Sin except for where she has no main body and just those floating cameras. I really don't like this form, but my fear is that we will see this exact form again, but after Flash, Tessa, Sin jumps down the hole, we see those tentacles again, which makes me fear that we will have this form again. But maybe I'm pleasantly surprised by Liam Vickers and we get a new design which is even better than the last ones, or we're going to get one of the old ones again. So, but now we're going to the point where I referenced just earlier with Jay. I think Lizzy and Jay have the same mission, because as far as I have understood it, Lizzy is getting from an unknown number text messages which told her to go outside together with Thad towards the corpse spire, and in the exact same time Jay arrives in with the ship over there, even though Tessa specifically said she's supposed to wait on the ship, and later we see that Jay is on the phone with someone, and my theory is that whoever is going to be this person is giving commands to Lizzy and Jay, and even though they are against one another, they are secretly working together without them knowing. And I think just before we're going to get the fight scene, the person is going to reveal itself and will stop them fighting with each other. The next one is pretty simply and easily explained. Right now 90% of the community is still coping about these deaths, and so am I. So maybe she survived. Personally, if she actually died because of the Sentinels, I'm going to cry, not because I'm sad, but because I hate those Sentinels and how overpowered they are, even though they shouldn't be as strong. But hey, one of the main theories is that the phone caller of Jay is actually V, so maybe she also was removed from the intro, so it would be a bigger surprise if she actually comes back. Who knows, to be honest. If she comes back, everybody's going to be happy, maybe. If she stays dead, then I guess it just has to be then. But anyways, everything will end. I talked about how this could be a vision, and to be honest, I have seen some other Glitch shows and also custom-made fan Murderons comics of people's own version how Murderons will end, and most of the time it was very tragic, and probably if I have to write a sad ending, it would be that Sin actually wins in the end and, I don't know, destroys the whole universe. I still don't know what her goal is, but let's say she sucks everything into a black hole and Uzi's sitting there in the void crying, and suddenly we will have a bittersweet end because she will be united with the ghost of N for eternity in the void. I'm kinda saying this very unemotional, but personally, if we get an end like this and we don't get a season 2, this could actually be a very reasonable thing to happen. So, end sacrifice. This is one I actually believe it could be very likely to happen. In the last 2 final episodes, we have seen more and more people trying to sacrifice themselves. Like, for example, of course, V sacrificed herself to save the others, and in the last episode, we saw Uzi sacrificing herself to save N. And although I thought Doll is going to be the one that sacrifices herself in the 8th or 7th episode, but her character was wasted instead to an off-screen death with no importance. Such a wasted character in my opinion. But if Glitch continues this trend, we have only one person that still can sacrifice himself, which would be N. And I mean, it's just logical for him to try to save Uzi in some way. And also because he is the main protagonist of the show alongside Uzi. But a trend I kinda noticed that the first few episodes were all about Uzi and Uzi alone, and now we're kind of shifting towards N being the main focus, which I like a lot because Uzi's taking up way too much spotlight. Big plot twist. So because Murderons likes to shock us with their plot twists, I'm thinking the biggest one will come in the end, which will be totally unexpected for all of us. Maybe this simulation theory is true and all of Murderons is just a big simulation, or something else. And in the aftermath we will realize the hints to it. Sad end is pretty much what the title makes you think of. This is one bingo field I actually only have so that I can make a bingo, because it's super general and I kinda mention it in 2 other points. I'm just going to say it. I think Murderons won't have a happy ending. Like, I'm to 99% sure Murderons won't have a happy ending. I'm kinda on a 50-50 if we get a bittersweet ending or just a really sad one, because to be honest, I would trust Murderons to have a sad ending instead of a bittersweet one. But because this point is so short, I kinda want to talk about this topic in a different bingo field, so I can use this bingo field to ask you to subscribe and like the video. I have heard if you say the word subscribe, the subscribe button glows with sparkles, so subscribe. I will look if this actually works. Lizzy and Thad are important. Well, I certainly hope so, because in the last episode they were kinda just there to be there. I may be hoping that they will get some form of role in the B-plot that will help Uzi, because they are kinda pointless in the conflict right now, because we have on the other side the N, Uzi and Sin, and whatever is going to happen there will decide the fate of the entire universe. On the other side we have a couple of children fighting one another, so like one is a bit more important to the universe than the other one, but maybe they will have a special role in helping out Uzi or defeating Sin or doing anything in the story that will have an importance in the end, because you could cut out every single scene with them in it and it wouldn't have changed the story a bit. The only thing that would have changed is that we wouldn't know the core is destabilizing and where the key comes from. Everything else could be cut out, so I hope they will get a more important role in the last episode if they already had to be reintroduced. New characters is personally my personal crazy theory alongside the last field, but we get to this in a minute. But many people think the person that called J is going to be V, which personally, although she could make a walkie-talkie, because fun fact, disassembly drones can create anything out of their arms, not just claws and weapons and stuff like that, anything they want. This was confirmed in a interview on Glitch X. But personally I see no reason for V to call J and maybe also Lizzy. However, I think this will be our actual last human alive, the last person that still runs this mysterious company which Jay is listening to. And I think this human will have the cure to finish off Sin, and that person will, with the help of Jay and Lizzy and the other guys, bring them together to bring the cure to end so that he can cure Uzi or something like that. Because if someone should be allowed to finish off Sin, although it's Uzi's personal demon, I would say, because Tessa is already dead, I would say N is the rightful person to finish off Sin. Because my personal headcanon is that the Absolute Solver program, AI, and Sin merged together to one entity and not two separate entities like people think. Of course, the Absolute Solver could puppeteer Sin, but the Absolute Solver said so many things that only Sin would say, but Sin said also so many things Absolute Solver would only say. So personally, my thing will be that Sin and Absolute Solver are meanwhile the same. And I kinda accidentally went off topic there, but I leave it in the video. Anyways, next point, Yeva. I don't got much to say about this. Personally, I kinda want to see more Yeva. I don't know, did she had a single dialogue box? I don't think so. But after actually seeing her in the episode, I kinda like her character and I want to see more of it. And maybe this even could be the mysterious caller, so we don't have to introduce an entire new character, but we could use Yeva because she already tried to cure the solver once with Nori. Actually, now that I think about this, this could be very much true, and I hope this will be true, because we never actually heard a caller, so that could also mean the caller could speak Russian and we wouldn't even notice. So personally, I would really like it if it was Yeva, or if Yeva just in general gets more screen time. The next two are pretty quick to explain, and basically I already told them, but again, I didn't have something for every single space because I kinda running low on ideas. But Sin will win is basically sad end and everything will end. I don't think Sin will survive, but there's a good possibility that although she might die, she will accomplish her goal, whatever this goal might be, probably to destroy the universe. But although there is a chance to stop her, I think it would be a much more likely option that she actually wins, because then we will get a bittersweet end maybe, or sad end. But if she actually doesn't accomplish her goals, one of our characters or even both have to die in the process. And again, like I said, maybe this time it's going to be N and Uzi is going to be lonely again. And personally, I don't know for which one would it be worst to lose the other one, if it would be worst for Uzi to lose N or for N to lose Uzi. Actually, tell me what's your opinion on this in the comments. But the same counts for Jay team up. I think Jay is going to team up with Lizzy and Thad and Khan to accomplish a goal in the end. Pretty easy to explain. Season 2. I feel the SpongeBob in this meme. Kinda every time I said last episode or final episode, I kinda slowly died inside, because most people don't think there will be a second season, because you can't really continue the story after blowing everything up. Literally. But of course, all of us want more murder drones, but still, with Gaslight District and Digital Circus on the horizon, most people are worried that we never will get murder drones content from Glitch officially again, because Liam Vickers wants to do some other stuff, maybe go to one of his older shows again. Of course, there still are going to be fan projects, and after a season finale, the next season of course will not be teased, but maybe just to keep the community alive, Glitch really should just make a little teaser, not a cliffhanger, and maybe a post-credit scene or something. After the episode comes out, we really need any evidence it could confirm a second season if there's one in plan, because otherwise I really don't know what will happen to the fandom. Some of you might know how raged the fandom becomes if it goes about shipping and stuff like that, or how strongly most people hate Digital Circus because it got way more attention than Murder. But this bingo field is just for a post-credit scene or anything that teases season 2. That could potentially tease a season 2. And now we come to the last field, and because meanwhile it's my thing that I'm the guy with the outrageous theories, that is my way to gather attention. I'm obviously joking around, but still. Although I'm going to make a entire video about possible season 2s. Many people propose a prequel, which I wouldn't really like because we wouldn't have any of our characters because we already know their stories and what they did. So we would have a bunch of new characters. But how we could have our characters still would be if we actually do time travel. It sounds crazy, and it is. But like, the solver can create black holes. For some of you that are a bit more experienced about the topic of black holes are break the laws of physics, and if the solver can casually create black holes, I think time travel wouldn't actually be that far off. Maybe even we get a time paradox, and that will be a bittersweet end. Like, for example, Sin will win, everything is about to die, but Uzi goes back in time and kills Sin, but with that we have a time paradox, and she can't have the absolute solver to kill Sin in the first place, and we get a time paradox and all the stuff like that. But overall, this isn't really a theory, but this is just a topic I want to bring attention to it because nobody really talks about it. And with the absolute solver creating black holes, it wouldn't actually be that far off, because some people might know that black holes can do some really interesting stuff. But overall, this was my entire bingo card. I hope you enjoyed this video. I maybe update the bingo card and replace some of the lesser bingo card fields if we actually get a trailer, or I don't know if we actually get trailers, but maybe some teasers or anything, because there's still some time until we actually get the episode 8. But hey, my last bingo card was also very outdated, and I still got a bingo, so whatever. I took way too long to produce this video because I took a little break because I have a lot of stress in school lately. But we see us in the next video. I kinda need to go. I feel like a snowstorm is coming up. Anyways, see ya guys. Wait, what? Oh, where am I and why do I...
What the fuck are you doing?